Yo, ¿cómo están? How's everybody doing? This is Wild on Tuesday, and thank you for joining me on this channel. Please remember, hit the like, the subscribe, and the little bell for future notifications. That does help this channel out a lot. Well, this week's topic, we're going to be going over bikers helping other bikers on the side of the road. I had a recent event this weekend, and so I'm going to get into the story here in a second. We're also going to get into what we should have in our first aid kits as bikers. So let's go. Yo, we're back. This is Wild on Tuesday, and thank you again for coming to my channel. Alright guys, so I didn't think about this topic actually to do on a video, but from recent events of this past weekend, I decided that I thought it was pretty important, and it's one of my pet peeves of discussing bikers helping other bikers on the side of the road. And we could also bring about first aid kits and stuff, but I don't care what patches you wear or you don't. I also don't care what type of bike you ride. If I see a biker pulled over to the side of the road, I feel that is my duty to stop and check. It's an obligation. There's one thing we have in common, and that is that we're human beings. And I don't know if you've ever been stuck on the side of the road in the heat of the summer alone. It doesn't feel that great. It's not like you're sitting in the car waiting with at least some cover. Many of us ride in the city, but others do ride in the country, where you won't see a car for a long while. Even if you do, I mean, I hear people say it all the freaking time. Oh, I'll stop in to help out somebody. I always stop and check. I have not really seen many people stop when I see a biker on the side of the road. I've seen bikes pass people so many times. So many times. I was always taught and brought up to always stop and ask if someone needed help. One of the biggest issues that bikers have, especially in Texas and other places the heat, is dehydration. And we could have mechanical problems. So let's go with this story. And like I said, I don't care about getting any type of thanks. I thought it was my duty. My wife and I were going on a nice ride this weekend, and it wasn't too much of a country road, but it was busy enough that there's people riding around, and I kind of saw in the distance some bike on the side of the road. And it was in the other side of the oncoming traffic. I saw a couple bikes go right by the guy. But then I just waved a signal to my wife that I was going to make a U-turn, and the next time I can make a U-turn, I did. Got behind the gentleman. He kind of gave me a look. He was kind of hunched over his bike. And I just asked him, "Are you okay? Do you need any help?" He looked at me, and he looked pale. And he said, "I just don't feel good. I feel like I was going to pass out." And then, of course, I think right prior to that, he tried to lean against his bike and burnt part of his back on his exhaust. So, I told him, "Hey, let's sit down away from the bike, away from the shoulder." I got a first aid kit, got my first aid kit out. I started asking him questions. I said, "Do you have any chest pain, anything I should know about?" He said his left arm was hurting and he had some pain in his chest. I reached in first thing I did, reached in my bag. I keep some medications in there, little travel packs. Had some aspirin, told him chew some of the aspirin, gave him water. Wet down a little towel, put it around his neck. I checked his back out. He had a little burn mark. I had a little burn gel in my bag. Put it on there and just put a little gauze on there. Told my wife automatically, as soon as he told me about chest pain and arm pain, I told my wife, "Call 911. We weren't going to mess around. I'm not going to let someone go back on a bike and something happened to them and I'll feel guilty." So I think we waited about 10-15 minutes. It didn't take too long. And they put IV in him. We're giving him fluids and they transported him away. But before they did, he thanked me. And he told me, I didn't really think any of you people, he said, "you people would actually stop for someone like me." And I looked at him, I said, "What do you mean, you people?" And he pointed at my diamond on my vest. And I said, "Sir, you're a human to me." And then he gave me his number, and I reached out. Well, there's traffic over here. I reached out to him. I waited till the next day, and he said he was really dehydrated. I guess his troponin levels are high. So I think that's a sign of an MI, heart attack. So I think he was almost having some heat stroke. But the guy left his inner liner in his jacket, and it's a mesh jacket, but he never took out the inner liner, and it's like 100+ degrees. I'm gonna get to this other side. So that poor gentleman, and it just goes back to me. You just never know what someone may need or not need. I rather make sure to get to the next lane. I'd rather have someone tell me, no, I don't need anything, and then they can remember the next time they pass another biker. I'll bet you they'll remember me stopping there and asking them if they needed help. And I got to get over to this other lane. Got to look over here. Well, we got to remember that a lot of these country roads, man, I'm trying to go to Cycle Gear here. Let's see if we make it. And a lot of country roads, there's some people that are in the middle of nowhere. A deer will run out, or an animal will run out in front of them. They'll ditch their bike right into the ditch. Bike land on top of them. Get behind this red car. Okay. Bike's on top of 800-pound bike or 1,000-pound bike on top of someone down in a ditch. They might be there for hours. No help, no nothing. They might could reach into their bag, might not. So when you're riding around, just pay attention to your surroundings. Maybe you never know. Look in the ditch. If you see a biker, please stop. But I think we all should be carrying a first aid kit. Seriously, if you don't have bags on your bike, I recommend some people to get a pouch or so, just to carry a first aid kit. I mean, motorcycling covers a wide range of environments and different conditions. I mean, you get common injuries of sunburn, heat burn. I mean, not covering your body or touching a hot part of the motorcycle would do that. Eye injuries, not wearing eye protection. And make sure, that's why you need a little hand sanitizer and some eye drops or so. People get cuts, abrasions, fractures, sprained wrist, trying to catch a falling motorcycle, sprained ankles, dropping the bike and using legs to stand it back up, road rash, not wearing the proper gear, or wrecking the bike. So in your bag, you should always have a small first aid book. Some gloves, some hand sanitizer, sting relief, band-aids, antibiotic ointments, large 4x4 sterile gauzes, emergency blankets, sterile saline with a little squirting tip on it, instant cold packs, glow sticks, trauma shears, several rolls of gauze, medical tape, tweezers, small flashlight, power bank to charge a phone. You got cell phone adapter, cord, jacket or rain poncho, and I bring a couple bottles of water. I put a whistle in my safe. You never know when you need a whistle, but I put a whistle. I got travel packs of medications like Benadryl, Claritin, aspirin, Pepto, a GPS tracker actually, that if something happens I can hit SOS and I'll get all my brothers and friends will get text messages with my location in an emergency situation. Now, it sounds like a lot of stuff, but it really is not. It's a small little first aid bag. It's really compact. It doesn't take hardly any room at all. And like I said, just get a pouch in your bike if you don't have one, or a bag or anything. But I believe that everybody should be trained in some type of BLS, ACLS, trauma care, especially for motorcycle riding. Especially if you're in an MC. There should always be a handful of people in an MC that can take care of situations with trauma kits. I mean, these bags are not hard to find. You can go online. They sell motorcycle first aid kits. I would look for a backpacking kit. There's trauma kits, and I'll just kind of customize a bag to what you think you'll need. They go anywhere from $20 to $200. So I mean, get your pick. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get into my location here, going to Cycle Gear. Please, let me get over here. Please keep a lookout for another biker. We don't have many people here that have our back, so please, let's help each other out. Until next time, guys, love you guys. God bless.